show where sports and combos collide. Authentic, unapologetic, no edits, no cap. Let the convo begin. No cap.
Hey, what's going on, No Cap family? How's everybody doing tonight?
Good.
Yeah, fellas, I'm ready to get this show started, man. We got a great guest tonight. It's gonna be great.
No question.
Awesome story behind this young fella, man. Can't wait for him to tell it.
Absolutely.
I can't wait for y'all to hear it.
Indeed.
I can't
Hey,
wait for
hey,
y'all
what they
to
say
hear
on Monday Night Football? I've been waiting all day. Yeah. Yes, sir.
It's crazy. We're dealing with some technical difficulties out here in the desert. You know, we got hit with that tornado, man, and it was bad, bro. Knocked out the power. People had floods all in the streets because you know they don't really have no good drainage system out here.
Mhm.
So it was crazy. People power boxes got knocked out, man. We had rain for 4 straight days, like it was Seattle.
Crazy.
That joint, yeah, it was crazy out here. It was crazy.
Man, that's crazy. You know, y'all been dealing with a lot of turmoil out there, man. First, y'all dealt with that storm, Asia Wilson, putting that thing on y'all head, walking out of there with that chip.
Who?
Asia Wilson.
Who? Are you talking about? Man. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to talk to y'all of what that W. Ladies and gentlemen, we got a special guest tonight. I'm not gonna leave. We ain't gonna waste no time because I want him to have all the time in the world to talk about his story. A great father, a great person, entrepreneur, businessman, and more importantly, my friend, my cuz, the one and only Mr. Greg, aka GT Toler. Welcome him to the show.
What's up, GT?
Appreciate y'all for having me, man. Definitely appreciate y'all for having me, man. It's an honor and a blessing.
Thank you for making time for us, young fella.
So, cuz, I'm on somebody's. It got me. It's an echo in it.
Yeah.
Y'all hear that?
Yeah.
It ain't me. But regardless, it don't matter. Yeah, it's gone now.
It's gone now. You good?
Okay.
There it is. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gone. So, well, it don't matter. Listen, what I want to do is, G, I want to get straight to it.
Cool.
I want to take us all the way back. And to our host, Coach Miller, Coach Mo, man, make sure if y'all want to jump in. But G, talk to us a little bit about who got you started.
Okay. So you saying like from childhood, or you talking about from childhood as well?
From the beginning.
I'm talking about who put. Yeah, I'm talking about who put football in your hand.
Okay. So I'm gonna take it back. I had to say, my older brother Vernon, he's 10 years older than me. It's me and him, my mom's kid. So I would say he put the football in my hand when I was he played for number 10, Uptown. He put the football in my hand young. I mean, he's 10 years older than me, so I was probably 5. He's 15, and he always was like pushing me to be better than I ever thought I could be. I always tell him like, he's my hero, because he instilled a lot of things in me. My dad, unfortunately, like a lot of us from the DMV area, my dad was in Lawton for life, rest in peace to him. But my brother definitely stepped in and showed me the way and kept me out of trouble, held me accountable. But so I started playing football when I was, before football, like, because my background is track for a lot of people that know me. Like, I ran track my entire life. I know track is a big thing now, but in the DMV, it wasn't as big when I was running. I was Junior Olympic 12-time champ. I remember it just being like a mystery to people, like, you run track, you run track. And I was running for number 14 around Benton Road. Coach Greg Evans, hats off to him as well. There's been a lot of instrumental men showed up in my life. I tell my son all the time now, we had a village when we were coming up. Your coaches was just like your uncle, your father damn near, So I was running track for number 14, Bantam boys at 6 years old, always running up, running against 8-year-olds and etc. That carried me on. My first football team, we moved from Benton Road and moved around Langley Park. So I started playing for Langley Park, and I played for Coach Danny, instrumental part in my life as well. He had me playing running back. I feel like teams at home, it ain't like that now. These kids got trainers and stuff, but he said, man, look, I need my best player with the ball in his hand. So he's putting me at quarterback, running back, just trying to win games. Then after that, I went on to play for Green. I played for a few teams. Went on to play for Greenbelt, Beltsville. Then it was on to high school, honestly. And my journey to high school was crazy. I was getting recruited heavily by DeMantha. A lot of people that knew my story always was like, man, we thought it was over when you got put out of DeMantha. I got put out of DeMantha going into my freshman year. Got into some trouble. I was coming from Northeast trying to get to DeMantha, and I'm late. And, at that type of school, demerits, anything against you, I'm like, dang, just for being late, like, that's like you getting demerits to get put out of school. And I wound up getting 3 demerits and wound up getting put out of school, which ended up sending me to Northwestern High School. Going to Northwestern, Coach Roy.
Hold up, no, hold on.
My fault. I got a long. That's what I said. I took the long route.
Yeah, hold up. We got some questions, man. Hold up. Hold on. Shit, I didn't know you got put out of Atlanta.
Murphy came. They was recruiting and lower league, and it's like me and Josh Wilson was coming up in the track scene, and I know some of y'all may be familiar with the Dirk Williams that went to Roosevelt, first player number 1 in the country from our area, and we was running track, and DeMantha was on me heavy, so. But yeah, I got put out of DeMantha, went over to Northwestern, and I won't lie, I thought it was over, because DeMantha, being a young kid, everybody held DeMantha to this such a prestigious school, which it is, I'm like, dang, I'm at a public school now. Like, ain't nobody gonna see me, but, my coach always said, like, if you got it, they gonna find you, so it seemed like my whole entire journey getting to the NFL at every step of the way was like that, even with college, So I'm a firm believer in it ain't about where you start at, it's where you finish,
Go ahead, Money Mo.
Okay, so man, I don't know if feedback coming. But so Greg, you said you had some trials and tribulations going through high school. So take me through that mindset, transitioning from track to football. Did you feel like it may have been a mistake?
It's crazy you say that. So I went to Penn Relays whenever Justin Gatlin, he won his last gold medal. And I met Justin Gatlin. Like, I was one of the few guys, coming out of the DMV area. I was all Gatorade at 13, representing for the DMV. They didn't think, everybody I met thought I was from Florida. They're like, we from Florida. Even in NFL, people thought, oh, you fast like that, you gotta be from Florida, and then I started growing my hair, so people really thought I was from Florida. But no, I would say track, I always say track is a tool in any sport, I feel. I feel like track propelled me to be ahead of a lot of kids, whereas though, they say they can't coach speed. I really started to see that in different sports. Even when I started picking up a basketball for some of the guys that knew me from home, and I ain't Kobe or nobody, but guys bro, stuff just came easy to you, just more athletic than people. I was always, I'm stretching like I'm at track meets every weekend. I tell my son all the time, these kids, they don't play outside as much no more. But I was at a track meet from since I was 6 every Saturday. I mean, like we didn't have all season pretty much, just trying to keep me out of trouble. My mother being a single mom, I think sports was her outlet. I always tell her, now it's funny. She's like, I didn't know me putting you in sports was going like, keep you. I want to just keep you out of trouble or following the wrong influence, because I wasn't. So hop, skipping a jump away from it because of who my father was in the area, and it was like, it was enticing, but my brother always used to tell me like it'd be greater later. So track, I'm gonna say track for me was the reason football became easy, but the mindset of football, of course, is super different. Being a young kid, I was just faster than guys, so coaches used to just give me sweeps, and I, run outside. Then you get older, and it's like, listen, man, you gotta start hitting the weights, So, but that's further on down the line. But yeah, as a young kid, I feel like football and just our environment. I was telling kids at my school that I'm at now, and we'll get there. I was telling the kids now, like, your why has to just stay in the front of your elobe, man. Like when you want to get distracted and you want to, Saban said it, like perfection only comes from doing things that you really don't want to do consistently. Like, so that when you want to go over here and just hang out, like I seen it, and I'm sure we've all seen it, guys got more stuff than you. Dudes pulling up in cars. And I'm like, man, you intrigued by it. And, a lot of my peers now and friends that knew me from when I was younger, they're like, bro, you were going up Minnesota Avenue, running hills. Like, with my football bag looking, like wondering why, like, am I doing it for real? You know what I'm saying? You don't really know if you're going to get there, but it's just like, you won't be ready for your opportunity. So, I would say track is the instrumental part, but football, my mindset just changed for us just being, hungry and wanting it. Like track is you versus you. Football is a complete team sport to where I had been in track my entire life where as long as I run good, I want my teammates to win, but track is like, listen, it's just me and this person, whereas though football is like one person can, not one play, but one person can lose a game, unfortunately. So, yeah, my mindset had to change, just buying into the team aspect of it.
So
So
when
when
so
so
when
when
did
did
so when did you
when did you
decide that
decide that
football was
football
it
was
for
it
you,
for
or
you?
did
Or
you
did you
continue to
continue
do
to do
both through
both
high
through
school?
high school?
Okay. I would say when I turned about 13, I remember working out at a track practice and Coach Greg telling me, he's like, it's crazy. You've been one of the best in the country since you was a little boy. Like, pin relays back to back. He's like, Greg, track doesn't pay. And now, no knock to no one running track. But my coach just was like, listen, track is more of a, you have to be the best every 4 years. And it's hard to do, because it's 1, 2, and 3. You don't got a whole, Super Bowl where you get everyone gets rings. It's like you 1, 2, or 3 on up on that pillar, trying to win. And I remember, like I was saying, meeting Justin Gatlin, and he's like, man, like you the kid, play football. In track, usually guys that play football, they're track guys that play football. Whereas though I was playing football and people was like, man, yeah, little Greg, like he nice at football. He could play football, I felt like, yeah, track was instrumental to getting me to play football. But when I played football, I played it how football was played, But going into high school, uh, I was just being a knucklehead. Coach, I remember coach telling me like, man, you ain't eligible coming in. I wasn't eligible. And I kind of had to make a hard decision at that time, like what I was going to primarily set my focus at. And it was football, and that was because of my coach telling me like, look, guys are the best in the world. You lose one time, it's over kind of, And I'm like, goodness, you got to wait 4 years to run this one race. And you could be disqualified if you jump off sides, like, and have to wait another 4 years, So I commend those who do run track and, went far in it, so. But no, I just took solely football and, made it my thing.
Everybody
Yeah,
got
Hey,
it.
Greg, so we
So we
usually
usually
ask
ask
at
at
every
every
level,
level,
right?
right?
Is there
Is there
somebody,
somebody
when you
when
look
you
back
look
on
back
it,
on it
that gave
that
you
gave
that
you
work
that
in
work
high
in high
school?
school?
I'm gonna be honest. Like I felt like ain't nobody really, we could pull up the film. I always say that. I don't like, this guy don't lie, but I don't think nobody in high school, to be honest, my coach used to tell me, he like, you 1 foot out, you 1 foot in, 1 foot in, 1 foot in, 1 foot out, man. Like you might be one of the best players in the country and nobody never know. Because every time football season ended, my grades failed. I went down. You know what I'm saying? It was like he was trying to keep me from, like, you're not here all summer. So my Aunt Penny, and the reason I say that, so during the summertime, I was never, like I tell my son, he'd be like, seriously, Dad? Like during the summertime, I would never be at like summer workouts. And this is not a good thing to do, kids, if any kids see this or watching, but I was never at summer workouts because my Aunt Penny had went to the WNBA. My Aunt Penny Toler, she was ex-general manager with the LA Sparks, hometown basketball player as well. I was always with her once my summertime started. I was always with her during the summertime. And I remember coming back one summer and he was like, man, it's sad that you may be one of the best players in the country, but nobody never know. Like, you don't take your grades seriously. You want to be over here, you want to be over there. Like, but I ain't really get a lot of work I felt in high school, honestly. Like we played DeMatha the summer I went to Northwestern. We played DeMatha in the summertime and we beat them. And I remember my coach saying, like, boy, you was a diamond in the rough. Like, I don't know how the hell you fell in our lap, Coach Roy and them, like, you was a diamond in the rough. But, shout out to everybody that came up in that time, But, no, I ain't really have a lot of challenges in high school, I feel. And maybe I wasn't paying attention to it, as much. But, no, I don't remember there being a game that, somebody really just went, crazy. But the person that I would say was, like, that was a beast, that, and we all knew that he was a beast. Burns Elvis, he went to Bowie High School, wound up going to LSU. Yeah, I would say he was probably but he played running back, so it was just tackling him, like, but he ran me over a few times. And I remember thinking, like, bro, you got to get your push-ups, so humble pie, but nah, as far as receivers, I can't recall too many receivers that were like, like how they are now. These kids now are different, so but hats off to everybody. Much respect.
So when did the college buzz start for you? Since like I said, you were kind of in and out. When did college start becoming a realistic, goal for the future?
I would say, I think everyone, the barbershop talk. I think everyone knew that I was good, but the same story would come up that you were kind of like you did it for a hobby. I wasn't really bought in like I should be. So people knew I should be in school, but just if I was going to get there or not. But I would say my senior year, I made all met, and I remember my coach, Coach Mark Martin, he over at Wilson, been there for some time.
Shout out to Mark.
Yep, Coach Mark, I remember him saying, like, man, like my senior year, I didn't get to graduate. Again, not taking my grades seriously. So I get to graduation day, they like, man, you missed 100-some plus days, like skipping, like just for ain't had nothing going on, but you skipping, like, thinking I'm just gonna get by or whatever. And I wound up going to summer school up Wilson, and Coach Mark was just telling me, like, listen, man, this is where the buck stop, man. Like, you gotta, what I'm saying? You can go ask any of these dudes or anybody older than you that played a sport, if they can go back to being a senior in high school, would they change or do something differently, And I think that's when it clicked for me, like it's your last chance, like to like really lock in, because it was different when you're in high school and then that day you're supposed to graduate and know that you're becoming a young man. It was like, all right, I gotta tighten up. But I would say my senior year that summer, it kind of clicked for me. I wound up playing for Coach Mark's semi-pro team, DC Explosion. Shout out to DC Explosion. I wound up playing for them, and he's like, look, your grades is messed up right now. College just fell off you. You come out here and play, stay in shape. And we wound up playing a team that had some young guys like myself that would come back and play, but still go to school when they time started. Like, they was doing it to just, like, I don't know why they were doing it. You get hurt, you hurt for your college season, but they were.
Hold on. I am going to cut you off, but you kind of jumped over something that I think is important for our viewers to hear. You said you was a high school student who went to play semi-pro.
Yeah.
Can you, and I understand your coach has something to do with that, but for those who don't know what semi-pro is, I'm a little bit older than everybody on this call. I know for me, because you also said, you know, you said that, a lot of guys out here, playing without insurance and things like that can get hurt. Why was that the route to take versus going to outside of your coach being a part of everything, a prep school, a JUCO, a military academy? Because again, when I was coming up, that semi-pro stuff was more for the guys who was always talking about shoulda, coulda, woulda, or the hustlers who had the cars and the ladies to make the atmosphere a little bit nice, or guys who had played a little bit who was just trying to live out their dream because whatever things didn't work out. Explain to our listeners what semi-pro was for you back in your age and what it really meant.
Okay. So for me, I would say I took that route, Milton, because Coach Milton, because I just didn't know, like, as we know, coming up in our area, man, like in one moment you can be in some bull job. Like, I graduated, I literally got out of summer school and my mother's like, look, you gotta do something. And she's like, you gotta either work or you can't just be in this house, letting days go by, getting older, et cetera. And I took the semi-pro route because honestly, she was a single mom. We didn't know no other routes as far as the JUCO. Like, I remember her, telling me to get my FAFSA done and, things I just procrastinated on. And she's like, get your FAFSA done. I didn't know your FAFSA was like student assistance. Like, I didn't know none of that. So it had to be done by certain dates. The faster you do it, the more money you get. Wind up letting that, slide past to where the money I can get was low. So they like, you got to wait till the following semester. And the semi-pro world for me, I didn't know at the time, Coach Milton, that it was like gonna be grown men. I'm just thinking, oh, lace them up, let's get it, but I didn't know it was grown men, that got kids and, et cetera. So I was thinking, I'm like, yeah, I come play some more football. Like, I stay in shape like this. She made me go get a job at JCPenney. I never had work. I was just used to, playing sports, and I seen it getting real. So the semi-pro route, I thought that was just going to be something I was going to do in my leisure and just be able to, a way to keep on and hold on to the sport that I love, but it turned into one of the best things that happened to me, honestly, but being at semi-pro and like you said, some of the guys like, man, I've been playing this for 10 years. Well, I'm like, man, like, guys coming back from Canada, I played against guys that was already in professionals, in other spaces. I'm like, so I just did it myself personally. I just did it to stay in shape, but it wound up turning into something different, totally different. But I'm thankful for the semi-pro. I meet guys now that think like, I went semi-pro and just went straight to the league. I want to kind of clear that up. Like, no, I still had to go to college because I meet guys that's like, man, I play semi-pro. Like, and I'm not saying you can't make it. It's never been. I don't know if it has been done, but I think you still got to have a degree to get to the league. I mean, but so no, I didn't just go straight semi-pro to college. But the semi-pro experience for me, I think it was me sizing up like where I was at. Once I seen that it was grown men, just to see like where I stacked up against grown men now, and first game I remember, Coach Mark like, look, send him on a go routes. And the older cats was like, man, bro, what you ran? What was your 40? Ooh. I'm like, man, 4.32, 4.29. Like, you know what I'm saying? And they like, bro, you don't need to be out here with us. So so it was fun for me. I got 3 games in the season, and Coach Mark like, man, we gotta get you to school, G. Like, you take the wrong hit, it could end your career. So he was persistent. Like, we'd be beating people. He'd pull the young cats out. Let the older cats that was still just playing it, get in there and do their thing. But Nah, Semi Pro was fun, man, and I'm grateful for it. But yeah, like you said, Coach Miller, I didn't know it was grown men at the time. I thought I was just gonna be further in playing football without having to deal with me slacking with my grades and stuff.
So talk to us about how you got how the discovery happened and got you to college. Like what was the game situation? Was it a moment? You know, was a guy out there watching on you? Or how did that all happen for you? Because I'm gonna tell you what, man. You know, I knew a little bit about your story.